Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the Great Bogey podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Zeich, and this one should be a short podcast. We're going to recap the Genesis Invitational. Shout out, congrats to Hideki Matsuyama. Really easy to root for him. Really easy to watch him go ahead and shoot a 62 historic fourth round there to seal the deal. Back to the top. Unfortunately, that's not the biggest headline of this tournament, is it? No. We've got an elevated event. Tiger Woods host the Genesis Invitationals, never won it, withdraws in the second round. What? Hearing some grumblings from some other golf fans, some other people that I know that are into the game. Some like Tiger, some don't. A lot of people saying that he withdrew, maybe not because of illness, but because he wasn't playing well. And I'd like to go ahead and give my perspective on that. First off, to make it known, I'm a huge Tiger fan. Wouldn't be a golf fan if not for what he was doing, in the early 2000s when I started playing. That just historic career he's had, the way he changed the landscape of golf, and just the way that he, dominated, quite frankly. I'm a big Tiger fan. I wanted to say that because I definitely think he would not withdraw because he wasn't playing well. If you look at it, he was +2 when he withdrew, which is where the cut was. I'd like to think that, and argue he's one of the greatest competitors of our time, our generation. I'm 34. I think that people my age a lot are Tiger fans. I just don't see a competitor like that, wanting to withdraw because they're not playing well. I think they play through that, right? They play through the slumps. When you compare it to baseball, a guy in a hitting slump doesn't just stop playing. No, he's going up there. He's taking his swings. He's taking his licks. He's trying to play himself out of that slump. What I think is Tiger's problem is that he's not playing enough. Yes, he's a great competitor. Yes, he's the greatest golfer of all time. But everyone needs to get their reps in, especially after the last 4 or 5 years he's had with the accident. His leg is just gone. You can see there is a noticeable difference from his right leg to his left leg. I believe it's his right leg that just is absolutely just, for lack of a better word, disfigured. If I remember correctly, when the reports came out after his accident, that amputation was not off the table. How are you going to expect to play well and play to a level of competition if you're playing 6 tournaments a year? I've never played tournament golf, but I am smart enough and I'm experienced enough to know it's just not going to happen, especially when these other guys are playing 12, 15 events a year. Don't get me wrong, Tiger's probably on the range every day. He's swinging a club, but he's not playing competition. If he wants to compete in those 5 other tournaments he plans on playing this year, he better get practicing and playing more. I think he should do 10 events. That should be his target. There's plenty of high level events out there, right? The Players. The Memorial probably wouldn't be a bad one. But to just stick to the majors and the Genesis, I just doesn't seem like it's a recipe for success. Coming from a guy who was pretty much almost in tears when he won in 2019. I was on the edge of my seat. It was incredible. But if he wants that 83rd, he's got to play more. Now, back to it. I don't think he withdrew because he wasn't playing well. I think he was sick. I think there was honesty there. And I think that I wish I would have seen him continue and finish that round 2 just to see if he would have made the cut or not. He was right on the line. Round 1, he had 6 birdies. You take that. You take 6 birdies in a round. You just have to clean up the 7 bogeys or whatever he made. from my knowledge of golf, if you make 7 bogeys, that's part of that repetition. Those mistakes you make, those poor shots you hit, that's all going to be worked out, and you're gonna fine tune that the more you play. I don't understand the 6 tournament thing. Why is he not playing more? The crowd wants it. The PGA Tour probably wants it. Tiger's gotta want it. He's a competitor. Why isn't he playing more? Why is he not committing to more tournaments? All right. Tiger withdraws. Sick. Could possibly be the biggest negative PR for In and Out, but that's okay because they're doing just fine. It's interesting because the next person I get to, Jordan Spieth, he's my favorite golfer right now outside of Tiger Woods. Big fan. Met him at the Waste Management Open. I don't know if you guys knew that. That's a joke. And it just seems like he's almost another casualty of some sickness, right? Tiger withdrew because he was sick. Those are the reports. I'm going to take it for what it's worth. I think that's true. But I believe it was Xander Schauffele said, yeah, Jordan left the scoring area to go to the bathroom. I don't know about you. They're not the only golfers that had to take a break in a round because of some stomach bug, stomach issues, hangover, right? So Jordan Spieth DQ'd. I believe he was playing fairly well, or maybe not. Let's pull it up. Jordan Spieth shot 66. That's 5 under on Thursday. Ended round 2 on a double bogey to shoot 2 over. So he's what, 3 under par? Clearly making the cut. I even saw people saying that he wanted to be disqualified. He didn't want to play. Like, that doesn't make any sense. An elevated event, you think professional competitors with $4 million, prize to first place is just going to withdraw or get purposefully disqualified? What are you talking about, people? I think Jordan put up a good response and owned up to the fact that, yeah, he screwed up. He didn't check his score. And now, is that because he's rushing to the bathroom so he doesn't crap himself? I don't know. I can't say that I haven't been there on a golf course. And if you're listening to this, if you deny that you have also not had that happen, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. There's a running joke in the golf community about that breakfast burrito hitting you on the 4th tee, right? Come on, we all know what we're talking about here. I just don't see it happening. These guys are some of the greatest competitors we've had in golf history. Why would Jordan Spieth purposely disqualify himself? Just blows my mind. Some people think that. Blows my mind. With that, you got to be careful, dude. Like, the other people are keeping your score, right? How hard is it to double check? I believe Spieth made comments back in the day, maybe last year or something, I don't remember, that he doesn't even write down scores down. He just fills them out at the end in the scorer's table or whatever. Probably not the best practice, right? Because as you're keeping Tom Kim's score, you're keeping your own just so when you do compare, you have them. Not the best practice, clearly, because we just saw what happened at the Genesis. I mean, you got to think. All right, who else finished 5 under par, 3 under through the weekend? Who was 3 under through the weekend? Let's see. He could have easily top 10. And that's $500,000 in his pocket. You think he would just automatically disqualify himself from $500,000? He's been playing well. Yeah, he had a bad round 2. He was 1 over. But he had tied for 6 at the Waste Management the previous weekend. No reason for him to purposefully disqualify himself. But yeah, Xander softly said, hey, he woke up. He was feeling sick. Jordan Spieth, that is, had to run to the bathroom, left the scoring area. Once you leave the scoring area, if you sign the wrong number, you're out, and that's what happened. Looking forward to a good season from Jordan. I think he's playing well. I think he's striking the ball well, and I think he's limiting, except for that last hole on Friday. He's limiting his mistakes. Right on Friday, he had one, two, three. He had 4 birdies and 4 bogeys, so he's even par going into that 18th hole where he double bogeyed. You know, it's an elevated event. These guys want to play well. We want them to play well. People who support the PGA Tour over LIV want them to play well. We'll get into that. Maybe not on this podcast, but another one where we talk my stance on LIV versus PGA, what you'd like to see, what I would like to see. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a good season from Jordan. I would not be surprised if he grabs a major this year. I want him to win another major. I think he's my favorite golfer, like I said at the top of this podcast, right now, outside of Tiger Woods. All right. One thing I wanted to talk about here is Cantlay. I don't want to downplay Hideki's 9 under 62 on Sunday to win by 3 strokes. I don't want to downplay it. But Cantlay had a 5-stroke lead going into the weekend. 5 strokes. Now, for a hack like me, it's easy to give up 5 strokes. Easy. I'm terrible. But whether we like it or not, whether you're a Patrick Cantlay fan, he's one of the best golfers in the world right now. Top 5. Hot take? Is that a hot take? Let me know in the comments. Guys, Patrick Cantlay into the weekend, 5-stroke lead. He ends up tied for 4th, losing by 4 strokes to Hideki Matsuyama. His rounds were 64, 7 under, 65, 6 under, so he's 13 under par. He goes 70, he goes 70, 72. So even to the next two rounds. Where'd all the birdies go, Patrick? Where did they go? Let's check out your scores. Round 4, front 9, he went even. Not one birdie, not one bogey. Clean front 9. Started off back 9 on round 4. Bogey, birdie, par, bogey. Par, bogey, par, birdie. I don't get it. Let's see how many bogeys he made. He made 1 bogey during round 1 on 16. No bogeys. Clean card round 2. Eagle at the first. So he's got 1 bogey. 2 in round 3. So he's got 3 bogeys. And then he just doubles it on the back 9. Round 4. 6 bogeys. Don't get me wrong. I shoot 6 bogeys in a front 9 in 18 holes. I shoot 12 bogeys. I'm terrible. I said that. But did he lose the nickname Patty Ice? Where are we at? Were they not calling him Patty Ice? Were they not? I believe they were. Didn't he go to a playoff with Bryson? Like 3-hole playoff? Patty Ice earned the nickname. Beat Bryson. I don't know. He's got to be feeling bad. Don't get me wrong. He won $866,000. But I bet it would have been better to win 1.8 for a tie for second or a $4 million purse. He had it in his hands, and he just all down his leg. There it goes. All down his leg. Interesting. I think, he's probably one of the more consistent players. I want to note, a lot of people don't like Patrick Cantlay because maybe he doesn't have a whole lot of emotion and maybe he takes a little bit longer over the ball. It seemed like he's sped up. He's got a little quicker, as he's getting over the ball. A lot of people, Twitter golf Twitter, talking about, how Tiger being DQ'd, Spieth getting, or Tiger withdrawing, Spieth getting DQ'd, and some notables not making the cut. I'd say the most notable not making the cut outside of those two, Justin Thomas. I'd even put Wyndham Clark, who's been on a streak. He's been hot. Didn't make the cut. Matt Fitzpatrick, U.S. Open winner. Chris Kirk, he's won a couple times in the last year or so. Do you think that's alarming? These top 20 players just not making the cut in these elevated events? I don't know. I really don't. Especially with the pressure from Liv, because they've got big names over there playing every tournament. That's one thing they've got going for them is they've got John Rahm on the leaderboard. The leaderboard's only 20 players long because that's all they have. But when you have DJ, Phil, Rahm, Bryson, I like Bryson. I've always enjoyed watching him. He's you could tell he wants to be better, right? Sergio, who am I missing? They got some others. It's just, at what point do you start worrying? I don't know. I really don't. But a lot of people, I say that because a lot of people are like, oh, Patrick Cantlay's winning this tournament. It couldn't be any worse. Why is that? Because of your disdain and your dislike for Patrick Cantlay? You got to think, these guys are still the best golfers in the world. Still the best. You have Will Zalatoris, who's right there. Hideki won this tournament. He shot 9 under. He shot 9 under round 4 to win. I think it was 16 or 15 and 16. His approach shots, his tee shot on the par 3. His tee shot on the par 3 was 15, 16, 17. Birdie, birdie, birdie. 3 birdies in the last 4 holes. You don't get more clutch than that. Let alone the 6 he made before that, right? To come in at 30 on the back 9 of an elevated event for $4 million, he knew it was at stake. I don't know. It was exciting watching him. He may have saved the tournament in some people's eyes, right? Like, oh, Tiger's out. Spieth DQ'd himself because he's an idiot. No offense to Jordan if he sees this. He saved the tournament possibly. He made what people thought was a boring tournament somewhat watchable. Willie Z, I'm rooting for the kid. Rooting for him hard. We both have Z last names. Okay, that is not easy. If you think having a Z last name is easy, change your last name and start with a Z. He just seems like a very likable person. Okay. And what he did, what was it, 2021, where he didn't even have a PGA Tour card. He just kept working his way, earning his way to the next tournament and playing. He tied for second to Hideki, I believe, in the Masters when Hideki won. He earned his card in just a dominant fashion. Top 10 after top 10 after top 10 after top 10. I am a big Will Zalatoris fan. Big fan. I'd love to see him grab his first major. He's had some close calls. He's won a couple tournaments. He's been in the winner's circle. Here's I'm gonna say it right here. If Will Zalatoris is healthy, his back holds up, that's gonna be your 2024 Masters tournament winner. 2024 Masters champion Will Zalatoris. Clip it right now. Save this video because it's gonna happen. Guys, make sure we're going on Twitter at Great Bogey Pod on Twitter, X, sorry. And then on YouTube, Great Bogey Podcast on YouTube. This is episode 2. We're hoping to grow this thing. We want viewers. We want subscribers. We want to hear from you on what kind of content, what you're looking for. Eventually, we're going to branch out. I'd like to play Xbox. We're going to do some Great Bogey gaming. Ideally, the end game is to do this full time, to do this um, as my income, as my job. I want to provide content. Hey, there's a lot of 11 handicaps out there that may not feel heard right now. All the big hitters, don't get me wrong. We got Riggs at Barstool. It seems like over the years, I've probably been watching him about 4 years now. He's gotten collectively worse at golf, which is like almost something everyone can relate to, right? The more you play, you're supposed to get better, right? But we have all been down this road where we're playing every week and we're at the range 3-4 nights a week, and we're just not getting better. It's the most frustrating thing. But anyways, 11 handicaps. I want to speak to you. I want to speak to people who just like talking about golf. We're gonna bounce between recorded and live podcast as we go down this journey. But what we need from you is to like and subscribe on YouTube and go follow us on X. Back to the Genesis. My pick, my dark horse pick, right, was JT Poston. He was up there. He played well. 68, 71, 66 on Saturday. He was right there. That would have put him 8 under par going into Sunday. And Cantley was 13 under, 12 under, 13. Close. I picked JT because we actually met Fleener, his caddy. I met at the Waste Management Open when we were walking with Jordan, Ricky, Zach Johnson, and Gary Woodland. So, great guy. Talked with him for a few minutes. Great guy. He's a giant. He's tall. He's a good Twitter follow. Good X follow. I'm sorry. But JT Poston tied for 10th. I'll take that. As a dark horse pick to win, you take a top 10 because, if you're betting on FanDuel or whichever platform you use, you're probably putting in, hey, let's put 20 on him to win, but let's put 10 on top 10 to get some guaranteed money. I like it. JT Poston could have a good year. But other notables, we got Hideki wins. Will Zalatoris tied for second with Luke List, who had a great week. Xander came storming back on Thursday and Friday with a little lackluster 1 under par on Sunday. Hard to compete with a guy who shoots 62, 9 under. Hard to compete. I know that. Jason Day had a nice showing. He was 9th, solo 9th. Tom Hoagie, Harris English, 7th and 8th. Sam Burns, I believe it was Teddy Lassier the second. A good friend of mine picked Sam Burns. Tied for 10th with Tommy Fleetwood, Scotty Scheffler, Eric Cole, Adam Svensson, and JT Poston. Scotty Scheffler. I'm an 11 handicap, and I'm putting better than Scotty Scheffler's right now. What's going on? You are the best player in the world. Arguably the best player in the world. Why can't you putt the ball? Why, Scotty? I'm asking you. Why can't you putt the ball? My pick, not so dark horse. I picked Ludwig Aubert to win the Genesis. Probably could have been another dark horse. He's only won one PGA Tour win, but he's like 22, 23. I like the kid. I think he's got possibilities of taking down a major in his first year, rookie season here. Let's pull up his profile. Let me get some stats on him. PGA Tour stats. Oh, man. He's from Eslöv, Sweden. Went to Texas Tech. Turned pro last year. All right, here we go. The Century. This year, the Century tied for 47th. The Sony Open tied for 30th. Farmers Insurance Open in Torrey Pines tied for 9th. AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. First time playing it, I believe. second, solo second, 68, 65, 67. And that's cut short. And they only had 3 rounds. And then the Genesis tied for 19th. This guy's making a lot of money playing golf. A lot of money. Let's go back to 2023. 2022, 2023. That's right. He won the RSM last November. And he won the Omega European Masters in 2022, 2023 DP World Tournaments. So two pro wins essentially in the last year. So many top 15s, top 10s. Worldwide Technology Championship at the tied for 10th. Shriners tied for 13th. Sanderson's Farms tied for 2nd, lost in a playoff. He's only had 1 missed cut. And that was at the Genesis Scottish Open. I think Aubert can pull off a major. Maybe it's the Open. He's got to be qualified for the Open, right? 24 years old. 10 years younger than I am. Big fan of him. Big fan of him. Let's talk about Rory. Yeah? Yeah, a little Rory action. Lackluster round 1, 3 over par. Came back, nice 5 under 66 on the round 2. Then 2 under 69. Tied for 24th at 5 under par. You just got to have a better start. You got to have a better start. I like Rory. He's got a lot of eyes on him as the what some would say the poster boy for the PGA Tour. His undying fealty to the PGA Tour and possibly Jay Monahan. It has not been good for him these last couple of years with the live split. I imagine, I don't know how factual this is, but I imagine he was offered a large sum of money that he turned down because he is loyal to the PGA Tour. He wants to see the PGA Tour be successful and continue to be successful. And like I said, I don't know how these conversations went. But if somebody's offering, say, Rory McIlroy just gets DJ money, $300 million, that's DJ money. He should get more. If DJ's getting 300, Rory should get 5. I think Rory's a much better golfer than DJ. And he's like, hey, guys, I just turned down this $300 million payday because I'm loyal to you and you made these promises. What are we doing? And just doesn't seem like anything has come to fruition to Rory's benefit at all. His mind's probably all over the place. He needs to focus. Love to see him get his Masters jacket. Would love to see it. Big Rory fan. I'm a golf fan. It's hard for me to not like any of these golfers. Mackenzie Hughes. Just going down a leaderboard here. I know a couple of these guys have some headlines. I got a buddy. We're in a golf chat, and he makes a good point. Yeah, originally these guys don't pick up a golf club, right, because they want to go make $150 million in their career. They probably recognize pretty early on once they start knowing what money is, how tournaments work, payouts, all that, yeah, they're going to make some money if they go pro and they start winning and placing high in tournaments. But to act like these guys don't tee it up every week for a paycheck and it's all for legacy is just kind of dumb. I don't log onto my computer every day and slang software and travel across the country because of passion and because I love to do it. I like doing this. I'll do this for free for now, right? I'll make content for free, but I'm not doing my day job because I love it so much. And, I don't need the money. If anybody says they love their job and they do it for free, then tell them to do it for free. Free up their company's money. What I'm trying to say is we all do what we do for a paycheck. That is how the world works, right? And some of us have worked their way to do what they actually have passion for. They did it for low income, free sometimes, for a long time. And these guys, they've been swinging golf clubs since they were 3 years old. Yes, they have a passion for the game. Yes, they love golf, but they don't love it enough not to do it for the money, right? So I don't buy the legacy thing. I wish everyone would just say, yeah, we play golf because Kevin Kisner says they pay a lot for 20th. They do. They do. Let's see what 20th made here. Tied for 19th made 251 grand. Tied for 24th, there's a few of them. Made $165,000. It's an elevated event, of course, so there's a little bit more money. But come on. Russell Henley is happy that of course, he wants to finish better. We all do. But is he like shaking his head going home, man, I only made $165,000 this week? No. He's like, yeah, that's why I play golf, because I can make a lot of money without even winning. Just make the weekend. Make the weekend. Chase Johnson finished 51st. Last person to make the cut and finish all 4 rounds. 51 grand. Most people, a 51 grand payday after a week's, like, don't get me wrong, he's worked his way his entire life to get here. But that 51 grand for 4 days, sign me up. Sign me up. I just don't have the time, and the ship has probably sailed for me to go pro in golf, especially if I'm an 11 handicap after, let's just call it 15 years of playing, 20. Just I haven't prioritized getting better. Don't get me wrong. This is on me. I'm not complaining. Love playing. Hard to get out in Colorado when there's snow. Told my wife we need to move to Florida. Anyways, the legacy thing, I just cut the crap, guys. Okay. There's like one active player who should be worried about legacy, and it's probably already tarnished it enough because of his actions and just scandals in the last 15 years. That's Tiger Woods. It's Tiger Woods. He needs one more win, 83. We'd love to see him beat Jack in the majors. Don't think it's going to happen. Right? He's the only one who can probably still talk about legacy at this point. Let me transition there. We got a lot of people. Tiger Woods changed the game of golf, right? Changed it. Outside of COVID, he's probably the number one factor to cause golf to grow and actually become interesting to young people. This could be a hot take, what I'm about to say. This could be a very hot take. I think, with the growth over generations, the fields have gotten way harder, way more competitive. I mean, Jack and Arnold and Gary Player, they're playing against guys who would have to take time off work to go play in these golf tournaments. Right? Not full-time golfers. They have to supplement their income with a regular job like all of us. I think the players that are playing now, talent and skill-wise, aren't necessarily that far from where Tiger was in his prime, but the fields are just so competitive. So competitive. We got Ricky, we got Jordan, we got JT, we got the great mustache now of Sahith Theegala, Cam Young, Colin Morikawa, Max Homa. All those guys are way closer to Tiger Woods' prime than any of us think. They're just not winning like Tiger was because there's so many of them. So many of them. That's my thought. That's my hot take. Maybe the hottest take of the podcast in the 2 episodes we've done. I just think that's true. And I think that's made golf more interesting. Talking with the buddies in the group chat, wouldn't be surprised if Hideki comes out and wins the U.S. Open. From what I understand about his game and how he plays, how he likes to play, it's going to fit him well. It's at Pinehurst, number 2. Doesn't get any better than that. It's going to be a great tournament. Great tournament. I think what we need to do for the game of golf is, especially professional golf. This is coming from a guy who has no experience in the golf industry at all, besides being a consumer and a player. We got to figure out the LIV and PGA Tour dynamic. We have to. A lot of players think, yeah, they need to have some repercussion for leaving. If the PIF and the whatever fund come to an agreement, then the Roms, the Shambos, the Johnsons, the Mickelsons, there is some retribution to be paid. What that looks like, I don't know. A lot of those guys have won majors, so they're going to have some exemptions. Koepka, that's the one I've been thinking of. Brooks Koepka. Not a huge fan of that guy. Just comes off as a douchebag. That's okay. Full swing changed how I thought about Brooks. Let me backtrack. I don't think he's a douchebag. He may not have a filter when it comes to just telling people how he feels, which I can respect. But he does kind of have a little goody, uppity about him. It seems like, he lifts his nose to other people. Anyways, I'm sure he's a great guy. He's a great golfer. I can't deny that. I cannot deny that. I hope when the PGA Tour and LIV figure out their agreement that if he wants to continue just doing his major thing, well, it doesn't matter if it's not a major if I don't win. I don't agree with that. Why are you playing then? I hope that plan works out for him. It'd be great to see somebody at least come close to winning 15 majors in their career. I just don't think we're going to see it again because of the competition. What, Brooks has 5 now? 5 majors? We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens, when it will happen. A deal struck with the Tour and LIV. I don't watch LIV. I find their broadcasting completely unwatchable. Usually when there's a tournament on, I don't even realize it until Sunday when they're like, yeah, here's our champagne shower after we just won. It's like it's a little corny. It's a little tacky, which I think causes a lot of people not want to watch it. You got like a 19-year-old winning and they're showering him champagne. He's like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm not even old enough to consume this in the state that we're in. Yeah, I just LIV. It just doesn't appeal to me. Doesn't appeal to me at all. You see on golf Twitter, golf X, golf Twitter, it's like, yeah, look at the crowds at Genesis, not Tiger. Like, I saw the crowds on Sunday following Cantlay, following Hideki, following these people in the top 10. There's still a lot of people out there. Still a lot of people. I mean, you're in California, crying out. That's like one of the golfing capitals of the world. Like, what are we talking about? No crowds. You look at LIV, yeah, there's like maybe half the amount of people following Rahm. Who's asking people to quiet down. What are you talking about, John? LIV's slogan's literally golf, but louder. And you're asking people in the gallery to be quiet? Maybe LIV wasn't the right move for you, buddy. I like John. I like Jon Rahm a lot. Root for him every time. That's probably the biggest hit to me as a fan. Seeing somebody go over was Jon Rahm. He got paid a lot of money. If a Saudi-backed tech company called me and said, hey, we're going to pay you 30 times the amount of money that you make now. You're only going to have to work like 12 weeks out of the year. Do you want a job? Yes. Unequivocally, undoubtedly, yes. Sign me up. Because what I can provide for my family with that kind of lifestyle, shoot. And anybody who tells you they wouldn't accept it, they're liars. They're liars. It's fine. I mean, you could stand on your moral high horse. It's never going to happen, right? We're never going to get that offer. But don't act like you deny that money for doing a third of the work, throughout the year. I guess we kind of transitioned to how I feel about LIV versus PGA Tour, right? I said we're going to do that later. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you coming by. Remember, Great Bogey Pod on X and the Great Bogey Podcast on YouTube. It's in the bottom left here. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate it. That's how we grow the community. Thank you for watching. I'm hoping to be on a 2 podcast a week routine, recapping the previous tournament, and then maybe on Wednesday, maybe Thursday morning, releasing a preview of each tournament. Now, some tournaments aren't going to be that great, right? What do we got next week? Mexico Open. Probably not going to preview that, but we'll find some content to talk about this week. We got the match coming up at the park in West Palm Beach. I've heard great things about that golf course. Muni, public, great things. Cognizant, probably not going to recap. But we do have the Arnold Palmer, which I believe is the next elevated event. So that should be exciting. Puerto Rico Open, then the Players. Guys, we have 8 weeks. 8 weeks until the Masters tournament. My favorite tournament of the year. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, guys. Make sure we go like and subscribe on X, YouTube, Great Bogey Podcast on YouTube, Great Bogey Pod on X. And we'll see you next time.